Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Corey and Kevin Talk About Nothing. If you're tuning in for the first time,
I'm Corey.
I'm Kevin, and welcome to our podcast talk show.
Hello.
That's my answer. You asked me before the show, and you thought I was ignoring you.
That's so funny. No, I just,
It's the comfort of the Corey, the C curbs. Hello. Or the
yes.
Hi. No.
Or welcome.
That's it. I was like, wait, what is the other one?
Yes. Welcome.
So on our podcast, we review movies at this point.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we talk about nothing because we've done what we've done. So
yes, that is true. Very true.
That's what we do. It's like, 48-hour film project, which I did get an email for, and I was like, one of these years we're gonna get there.
No. Let's let your little one get a little bit older.
Right. Acting level.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, you got to get her ready, dude.
So on today's episode, we are going to talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And then there is Over the Next Horizon by Alex Clegg, I think is how you would say it. Or is it like 99 cent? It's like 0.99.
Yeah, well, I think that isn't that. Yeah, I think that's the production group. I think, right? But
Right.
I think I think he's. I could have sworn he was still like like he was the guy, but just the production company's name.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Like 99 cent late night. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, and then we also have from. Is it Calvin Zimmerman? Right? Wildlife. I'm not sure if there was a production company, to be honest. I'm
not 100%.
Didn't pay attention. I do apologize. I guess I was
Mm.
already in deep thoughts with wildlife. So, yeah. So, of the three movies, which one should we start with?
I think we should start out with Over the Next Horizon.
Over the Next Horizon.
I think that's a good starter. We'll get in this one, and then we'll dive into the next two.
Perfect.
All
right. So, Over the Next Horizon, it's a like a post-apocalyptic, man versus man versus self, man versus nature type of film. Very minimal dialogue. It at times felt like a Terrence Malick film where it was just like these beautiful shots and the scenery and everything. No dialogue whatsoever, but good music just being played in the background of these beautiful shots. If you've ever seen anything from Terrence Malick, that's what he does. I watched Thin Red Line. You're like, there's like 20, 30 minutes go by. You're like, I don't think anyone's talked. Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure that's the one where John C. Reilly has his name on the poster, and I don't think he really says like more than 2 lines. But anyways, great movie if you ever see it. Great movie. Anyways,
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you talk first, because I know I've already said a few things, but I've got a list.
Yeah. So. Gotcha. No, it's okay. So yeah. So
tend to overtalk.
What's that?
I tend to overtalk, so go ahead.
Yeah. No. All right. So, yeah, I mean, so Over the Next Horizon, I really did, I thought it was, like you said, there was, I don't want to say problems, but I'm also more of a very dialogue-friendly movies. I like the words and I like all that. So I think sometimes I have to get into a different realm to watch this. And I actually watched it probably the first, probably not a very long time, it was like 20 minutes of the movie, and it was actually a little bit, you actually got more than you did at towards the end of the film and things like that, right? So it was this thing to where, not that I didn't like it, but when I watched it for the first time fully, it was almost more along the lines of, like I said, I just wasn't necessarily thinking that way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I don't know how to explain it. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. I thought, like, even the end of it, and, you know, there's a certain item that he keeps collecting throughout the entire movie. You know, there's a cord. He's a cell phone cord. He wanted to listen to that one thing, that one more time, you know? And it was like, I don't know. I thought it was phenomenal. Sorry. We're recording this, and there's a bunch of fireworks going on outside.
Oh, that's fine. Now. That's fine. That's
if
funny.
you can hear it, that's why I just got so scared, okay? But
that's
anyway.
Funny. Yeah. Slightly alarming, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yes, yeah, I get it. I know. All right. So with that being said, though, like, you know, with the, like, because you actually stole the words, the beautiful shots and the no dialogue. It was actually almost a thinking movie for me, and that's the way that, like, I took it afterwards, right? I soaked it in, you know what I mean? When I first watched it, and I thought about it, was actually the next day that I actually more or less thought about it. And when I thought about it, I'm like, man, that it was actually like a good story without actually being fully, like, talked through the entire time. That's my whole point. Like, that's what you said, very little dialogue, right? Like, we still got a lot of the stuff going with, like, I don't know. It was actually one of the first movies that I actually really, really enjoyed that didn't have the dialogue like you expect out of a movie. I guess that's where my mind was.
Yeah.
And then just like, you know what I mean? And we understand, like, this is a you know, an independent film. So it's not like it's a mainstream, you know, like, I don't know what you want to call it, Hollywood film, right? You know, I guess that's what you can call it. So, like, something along those lines, high cinematics. It didn't need it. I still portrayed the entire story, the entire thing, throughout the entire thing, just by what they did. And so I just want to say, my thing, I gave it a good rate. I want to give it a good rating, a high star rating there. I really do, because I think they did a good job of what they were trying to portray to be.
Boom. Boom. There you go.
Boom. So I liked it, man. I liked it.
I've been doing a thing where I've been just typing out my thoughts during the movie.
Okay.
And so, like, I have more of, like, a play-by-play notes type of thing here.
Do you? Yeah. Gotcha. See.
Oh,
I tried that.
Tons of thoughts here.
But at the same time, my only thought process, because I have stuff that, you know, I wrote down more stuff than what I talked about too. But I don't know. I don't want to take myself away from the movie. That's all it is. By typing out my thoughts. You could type without looking. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, you gotta also think about. Well, it doesn't matter. So here are my thoughts. I will try to summarize these very quickly because there are I have 13. But this is Alex Clegg. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You are absolutely a director. And you know, in addition to that, you've got cinematography down. You have beautiful shots. You know what I mean? Like, the lighting's right. Whatever camera you used, all of that stuff is right. Everything's moving right. You set up the shots right. I mean, everything from as simple as the camera being ahead of him for, like, going down a ladder. You know, like, he took time to set these shots up, make sure it looked a certain way, and then did it. So wonderful opening shots, great camera work, cinematography, everything is on point. Honestly, like, this is the work of a future director. Because it's like, absolutely. I don't know if he went to film school or anything, but bam, bam, bam. My only thing is, like, this is clearly like a script, because, like, you could tell, like, this is a concept from start to finish, and it's very well done, and it's polished. But the dialogue, so, and it doesn't have to be like I get it, like I understand why there's not. I mean, he's often by himself, and he's like a quiet character who keeps to himself and all that kind of stuff. So there's not all these opportunities. But I felt like even in the camp, when the little girl is running towards her dad or whoever, and it just was like a silent time, and then it went to don't ever do that again, you know, and it just was like, well, like there's just little moments that, and then sound editing or the sound mixing with the sound effects. The sound effects were sometimes a little louder than the film, and it kind of just threw me off just slightly. But other than that, dude, this is one of the better of movies. You know, definitely one of the best that we've seen. Like I said, man, this is just you know, I really there was, you know, decent acting. But then there's like also a story for where you don't even need as much acting. You know what I mean? Like where you're just kind of like moving around on your own, making camp, all that kind of stuff. So you know, those are some pretty easier things. But it's like if you're having trouble, like I want this guy, I want Alex Clegg to find a script and shoot another movie. Whether you write another one or whatever, you find one online and you shoot it, but like definitely do this again, but find some content with some dialogue, or build something with some dialogue. Get some real good character development, because you got the eye. That like I said, the camera worked. Like all right, you're a cinematographer and a director. Boom. Yeah. You know what you want, and you can communicate to a cinematographer as a director of what you want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, hey, get a couple more people on your crew, dude, and
yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm telling you. Okay, so you're bringing up some audio things. Okay, so let me just ask you one question. Yeah. At the very beginning of the movie, there was a pretty, when you were talking about audio, I believe there was a voice, like there was voiced over at the very beginning of this movie.
Yes, I do believe so as well.
And I'm just not gonna fib to you. At the very beginning of that, it totally changed afterwards. Okay, so it wasn't this way the entire time. But my alerts went up. I'm a little bit worried, you know.
That is what caught my eye. I mean, anywhere from like footsteps or openings to certain things. Some of the stuff was just turned up a little too loud. Over it, or just was voiced over, or like the something with the audio. Maybe that's a YouTube thing, I don't know, but like the audio just could be somehow just wasn't there. That's exactly, that's like the sound editing or sound mixing would be like polished. You know what I mean? This movie would be hitting every single note if you know you could polish that the sound mixing there. But I mean, moving on from that, I mean that like there wasn't like a shot I didn't like. The effects were very cool that were used, practical. So I given that it's a very basic story, given that it's got a nice little payoff, the nice thing is we're not tortured for an hour and a half of like, you know, okay. Yeah. This is like a nice short and sweet.
For sure. Okay, so the one thing that I really, so you talked about props. This is another note that I wrote down here. The silencer.
Yeah.
Okay, but then if you think about it, and this is like another thing that at first it didn't bother me, but it was just something that I noticed, right? This is a pretty makeshift silencer. But if you think about it, in the times that they're in the movie, that makes sense. You know, you figure things out to be able to mute the sound. So you may do what they did in the movie in real life.
Well, right. They might have actually figured out the best way to actually,
yes, to do 100%. That, right? So like, and then I'm like, I actually like that now. So, like, I love that aspect of it.
Speaking of that guy, I specifically wrote down, that dude, let's get him in an action movie. Moved like a guy who's had some training, you know.
No.
Whoever I didn't know how to like apply actors and all that stuff because like there's no I don't know who anybody is. So whoever was the guy with the with the silenced taped gun, book that guy as your next James Bond, or somebody else. It wouldn't make sense as James Bond. He's not English, but another action hero. Anyways, I did want to say that I did really enjoy the ending as well. You know, when he finally gets to listen to that message, that he's been trying to hear for. At this point, I think there's the only little bit of confusion would be how much time has passed because we last see him bleeding on the side of the road and like he still has his cords or whatever, and then we're like transported to this other person and then they cross paths, but you see him like he's got a beard now, like he's looking like even more scruff. And you're like, well, I wonder how much time has passed. I mean, he's clearly fine. Like, he got shot in the chest and, like, dude's still alive. Yeah. So that was, like, the only confusing part. But other than that, I mean, I didn't really care either because, like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, I get it. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm mystified. Well, is that his twin brother? No, I mean, I get it.
But, So I understood the film. And the nice part about it, too, is it wasn't a long film. So you could still add some of those details into it when you make the final, right? Like, that's something else,
turn this into a feature film. Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Done. The message, though, I wrote this down. The message, it's a comfort because she never got to read the note. No matter what happened, she knows that he loves her and their baby. He found his humanity out on his own. Maybe his next adventure will be to get to his sister-in-law, or maybe he's relieved to be alone and on his own. Maybe she thinks he's already dead. I kind of enjoy the open ending to that where, you know, she's not mad at him. Oh, I didn't even read that note. And that's such a comfort to him because he knows now, like, oh, man, I missed that. Or, oh, man, I love that, you know. What a cute little baby, too. But, yeah. So, directed, cinematography, editing, triple threat. Find a script to shoot that has dialogue because you got everything else, man. That's boom. That's it. That's what I got. It was definitely one of my favorites. It was one of the best that we've seen. Yep, very well, put together. Cut wise. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of like music. I'm a big fan, soundtracks. I'm a big fan of cinematography. So, yep. Check. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you had all your top. Lists.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Good job.
Yep.
All right.
Bingo.
So Alex
back.
Clegg. Maybe we'll figure out how to do an interview or something.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
Because I have several questions, but I won't mention them here.
Yeah. Not right
He's
now.
not here. Hey, I'll talk to. Hey, hello, Alex. Are you there? We got a caller in. Is that you?
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we'll try to reach out.
For sure.
So that is Over the Next Horizon. We were sent screeners, so I'm not exactly sure how we can put it out to the public. But if you get a chance to see this movie, check it out, man. It is definitely worth the time to see an up-and-coming director. Honestly, I'm very curious to know if he went to film school. But yeah. So you want to move on to Wildlife?
I say we do it. I say we move on to Wildlife next.
Why don't you start again? Because I also have like 18 things written down.
Okay. All right. So,
Wildlife by Calvin Zimmerman. I apologize.
Yes.
I didn't write down the production company.
Yeah. We should have. But anyways, all right. So you want to talk? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I mean, this movie, man, it had me in my feels and my emotion bag.
Bro,
I mean, it had me,
I know.
Like, I mean, it's and to read the description, you almost. It's not. I don't want to say it's a movie that you want to. I don't want to say turn away by any means. I don't want to say phrase it that way. But it almost kind of like, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
like it's not a. It's not a cheery.
And
topic.
No,
it's a very
not at all. Yeah. And so with that being said, it's like, wow, does this hit? Like this hits, you know what I mean? From like, it's just crazy to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So it automatically got me into this entire mode, I guess I should say mood. And man, was it like, I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. All right, Rudolph, man. This.
Oh yeah,
this
man.
Actor, man. Absolutely killed it.
Yep.
He did so phenomenally from like just he made me believe he's truly going through these things. In an independent film like that, you know what I mean? And just you pull out an actor like that, I'm like,
oh yeah, man.
You impressed me as just a human being and an actor in this. You impressed me.
Yep.
Like it's as simple as that, you know. So I mean, that's like my biggest thing I can say about the movie, you know. And I think that you brought up like directing with Over the Horizon and stuff, and I think the storyline and the dialogue of this one was good. You know, I mean, I think there were strong actors and not so strong actors in the film, right?
Oh yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So with that being said, I think there were some parts that with the right maybe actor in some of them, and I'm not, I just think it might have blended a little bit better in some parts, but still, I think if you put the whole storyline together, I mean, phenomenal, man. I think the dialogue, the whole story of it was great, so good, like. Oh my gosh, man! I mean, just so I really can't say much more about this movie than the fact of how good it was. I mean, even down to like the brother. Okay, so how about the brother in the jail cell?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where he's crying. Yeah. He killed it. Yeah. Man, he killed it again. Yeah. I mean, it just
that's a
what? Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Bad pun, man. Terrible pun.
Yeah, not good. So he did really well as actor.
Yeah, right. Killed it.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that one.
But...
Yeah. Whoa.
I lifted the arms.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. It's okay.
It's all right.
You live with it.
Yeah. If you don't know, now you know. I should do like a PSA.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it opened up with a really like perfect quote.
Yeah.
And it kind of just sets the tone, and yeah, I would agree, like it's like a mixed bag of acting, but man, like the good performances just outweighed everything else. There was Donnie's mom. I had to have written her down at some point here, but Donnie's mom was just like she was like probably like just I wonder if she's like a SAG actor or something, because she was definitely phenomenal. Like I believe like I was like, that's Donnie's mom, man. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
She's going through some rough stuff. I love the scene of them on the couch, because it was just like, I know what you're doing. Like, you didn't lose any of your kids, man. I couldn't imagine that. I just couldn't imagine. Oh. And she conveyed that. That's what's perfect. Her whole dialogue, and then her speaking at the podium at the thing. Yeah.
Well, even talking. Oh my gosh, even what she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, she did really well. But even like talking to the cop, at the moment too, like the dad. Even there was a moment to where she talked to him. That was phenomenal too. Like that whole dialogue of that situation too. I mean, it was just so good. You don't know. You don't. Like it's just kind of good.
Medina Kinsey. I think that was her name. Phenomenal. And then Rudolph, man, just dude, great actor, man. That was Thatcher Jacobs, I do believe, and just absolutely nailed it. What it was such a crazy viewpoint, to be honest. Like, I feel like this is a movie where I have not seen something like it before.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
And it's because you have this viewpoint of the brother, the direct family member of somebody who's committed an atrocity. That's awful. That's not them, but they're going to be casted into that same shadow because they came from that family. So it's like this thing that you don't think of, and I feel like this movie does such a great job of looking at all of these different viewpoints of how this tragedy affects everyone. There was where I can't remember his name, but there was a scene where the one girl goes over to the guy's house and she's like, she's pissing me off. She's acting like you know, this happened to her and it didn't. And he says, you know, she's allowed to be in pain. You're allowed to be in pain. And it's like, everybody's going through something. I mean, everybody hit this tragedy. It's not like, oh, you had to be there for it to happen. Like, no, you lost friends or, I mean, it totally haunts your school and everything. So
I'll be terrible.
Yeah. It's just, you don't know what anybody's going through. So don't try to compare. Just try to listen. Very well written. I really enjoyed a lot of the dialogue in this movie. There, like I said, there was like a mixed bag of acting. So like, there were the occasional few where like, okay, whatever. But then we'd get right back on track. The soundtrack of this movie was phenomenal. And I learned something because there was a couple of songs that I just was like, man, I really like that. And it's a band called I Hate It Too. And they're actually from Akron, Ohio, which is
that's awesome.
Very interesting. So shout out to them. It is a really tough subject matter. And this literally puts it front and center. It does a great job of conveying the reality and eliciting emotion from the audience. There were moments that I'm definitely tearing up. And then there's like the ending where you have like the marching and the protests of kids and you're like, this world is freaking insane. Like I already know it's insane, but like this is just like another eye-opening thing of where you just, man, I feel like in this raw form of a movie, everyone needs to see it still. Like this still should be a movie that everybody watches.
Yeah.
So, great use of music, obviously. Great credits roll.
For sure. Yeah,
and
I'll give you that.
The high school montage of characters worked out great. Like, definitely the cutting, a lot of scenes.
Well,
the only thing that like would be the downfall of this movie would be the audio. It's camera audio. I'm fairly certain. And I think I saw in the comments something of technical difficulties. And hey, we've been there. We've been there when we thought we recorded the whole thing. It turns out it's a junk audio or whatever, and got to go with what you got, and try to clean it up as best you got. But so, yeah, I just I'll tell you what, this was a thinker. This was a thinker of a movie. I sat and just thought about it and just was just like, this one hits me, man. This is definitely another one of the best we've seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's another one of those, and I think all around the entire, and then throughout the entire thing too. Like, I mean, the dialogue and like, see, one thing that I really, really enjoyed about like the camera scenes and all that kind of stuff in this one was actually the, like the flashback scenes.
Yeah,
I think those were placed so well in the movie.
Oh,
it's one of those movies that I mean, once again, like, see, this is how I know that I thoroughly enjoy the movie is when I can look down and I think that, I'm just halfway through the movie, right? I'm just gonna pause it and go to the restroom, go drink, or do whatever.
Yeah.
I click on it. I have 10 minutes left of the movie.
Right.
So you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is, so, you know what I mean? So I actually just finished watching the movie for 10 minutes and then, I just, I'm not going to stop that far, but it's crazy to make me feel that way. Not that like the movie didn't finish the story, it made sense where they went, but I'm just saying, like, I was just so thoroughly, like, involved in this movie, emotionally,
Oh, yeah, like, we're, like, members of the community, man.
Oh,
like,
my gosh,
I'm concerned,
crazy.
too. Like, I'm turning on the station looking for that news,
Yeah, I still haven't found it yet, but...
Yeah, I'll tell you. This is definitely like a movie that expands your mind on how all are intertwined from a tragedy. Everyone is going through the same tragedy, feeling grief, anger, confusion, sadness. And I just think that's super important to remember.
Yeah.
Especially
it is really,
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you. Seriously.
Oof. Yeah. keep sharpening those skills. Sharpen up the camera movement.
Yep. Audio.
Audio. Yeah.
Audio for both.
Yeah. But I would have to say Calvin Zimmerman is another one that we'll definitely be seeing again. It definitely, especially if it was written by.
Yeah.
I mean that's the best part is like you shot your own script and you did wonderful. So.
Absolutely, and your script was wonderful too. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like I don't want to make it. I'm just saying it was portrayed well, story told. It was just a good. It was an all around good film.
Oh yeah, I honestly, you were like, hey, what's the link for Wildlife? I'm like, oh man, you're watching that right now. And you're like, well, I'm already done with the other one. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna spend 2 hours. I'm gonna crank through these movies, and by the end of it, I was like, I couldn't have been happier. Like,
yeah, I cannot believe that you were still texting me the time you were texting me. I'm just gonna say to you.
Yeah. I was just, oh yeah, that's right. Cause like I'm looking up, like,
it was late.
I watched the movies and then I'm like searching up everything. And that's how I know, like I really enjoyed these movies. I really,
absolutely.
Yeah. Congratulations guys. I really see bright futures. So maybe we'll get them on for like an interview,
that'd be awesome. That'd be
a new segment or something.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Hello.
Yeah.
I am very excited to see more from them because I just think that we definitely have seen some really good ones. So we'll have to get Matthew Thornbury on the
for sure, absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that leads us to our last movie.
So. Actually, I'm gonna let you start this one. To be honest with you.
Oh, very cool.
I'm gonna give you this one.
The floor. I have the floor.
You have the floor, man.
Hear me. Now hear this. I wish I had a gavel.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I was gonna say, I love Sam Raimi, so I was super excited to see him directing in the Marvel Universe because he has such a different vibe. He brings a different mix in. If you ever seen like Evil Dead or Spider-Man 1, 2, don't watch 3, but 1 and 2 really really good. So, the guy on the street where he's like, you gotta pay for the pizza rolls. I always get paid for the pizza rolls, and he starts beating himself. Yeah. That's Bruce Campbell, and I'm like, I'm so excited at Bruce Campbell, man. I was so pumped. So. I watched the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the storyline. I really enjoyed the multiverses. I really enjoyed America Chavez. I loved it all. I loved Scarlet Witch, but the storyline's just so heartbreaking. So like at the end of the movie, I'm like, man, this is messed up, man. I don't feel good about any of this, man. So
I really, I don't. Yeah, it was definitely one of those different type of feels in the movie. I agree.
Yeah. So
with her,
exactly. So like I'm excited that R. Strange, 616 or something like that, Earth 616. R. Strange, got to. Dude, when he took over the zombie man, that was excellent. I'm like, that's what these Doctor Strange movies do. Like they just keep twisting on you, so like you just aren't anticipating anything. It's just like
anything at all. Yeah, and what's Dreamwalk? You know what I mean? You're like,
dude, that's incredible, right? Dreamwalking through different universes. I know. I went to Dream last night, and I'm like, I'm scared. I'm scared I'm gonna get taken over. Did I wake up myself? I don't know.
Yeah, am I in 2 or 3? That's what I need to know.
I don't know. Yeah. So really, I really enjoyed it, and I felt like Sam Raimi really brought his fun little spin to it. The ending, I was like, oh come on, man, that's too much of a cliffhanger. It's kind of messed up. And then, like, the ending, I'm like, come on. Just torturing me. That is. The stick and carrot. So,
seriously, yeah.
Besides that, I really enjoyed the movie, but ultimately, the Scarlet Witch stuff just like bummed me out. I'm like, I feel so bad, you know.
Well, yeah, it's actually it was the like okay. So this is the thing. So when you watch Wanda, right? Like, so I bring back Wanda's whole thing into it. Mm-hmm. I mean, essentially, you kind of already seen this from her. Like,
This. You know she's capable, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's like one of those things. So like when I seen it, it was almost like this is happening again, like type of situation, right? Like that's all I'm saying. Like not the same thing, but kinda.
So
you know what I mean?
I kind of felt all right. I'm glad I'm not alone. So like I guess maybe that's where I'm a little bummed out because, and I said this to Jessica last night. So anybody who's a World of Warcraft fan, I kind of stopped playing during Shadowlands because like, you know, obviously I just wasn't playing it as much, but also the storyline was just like, oh, okay. You took like this person who's just been through so much, and then you just flopped it on as a villain. And it's like, it's just like a throwaway character now, you know? Like, obviously you're going to defeat the villain. So, like, turning Scarlet Witch into full-blown Scarlet Witch where Wanda can't control it and she's just like Scarlet Witch, it was just like, okay, like, not predictable because, I think from the trailers you kind of like know Scarlet Witch is in it, so.
Well, yeah.
But it's just like one of those things where you're like, man, that's like that's your send off.
You seriously, yeah.
But
that's
at least in like all those other universes, she has the kids and they're being taken care of by Wanda, you know.
Oh yeah, she's actually doing it.
Yeah,
because so Scarlet Witch is actually doing that for Wanda because that's what Wanda wants to do.
Well, because she created it, it became real in all these other multiverses, like in WandaVision. Yeah. So, but all she wanted to do was be a part of one of those universes. So she'd have to like kill the original and.
See, so like that keeps making me think. Like I don't know. I watched it. I finished it yesterday. I watched it fully, but there was towards the end I was like starting to doze off, so I rewatched the last like hour of the movie yesterday. And what was I gonna say? Oh. I'm still like I think I'm still wrapping my head around things. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely wild,
so you know what I mean, like so like there's some moments that, you know, I'm still not 100% sure, you know. I still got to do my research on it. Now that I've watched it, now I feel like I can do research. I can feel like I can do this. I can do that. You know what I mean? Like there's like certain things that I'm like, I can let me think about this. You know what I mean? Like let me go through this here. So okay, so my opinion on the movie, I thought it was great. I thought, you know, Strange, he did his thing. He did that.
Yeah. He's always great.
Exactly. So who is the scientist? Like the girl that's not his girl that was getting married in his universe?
Christine.
Yes.
Rachel McAdams.
Like, yes. So when she was in the other universe, right, and the other one, and like, I don't know. I thought she killed that part pretty well too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. I think that she did that part. I'm like, okay, I now like you even a little bit more as Doctor Strange person, right? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Well, like, can't be love interest because, like, you'd be crossing the multiverse all the time.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's really weird because, like, if you were like, oh, hey, meet my girlfriend, Christine, you're like, wait a minute, that's me. You're like, yeah, it gets a little weird.
Yeah.
I also loved seeing, it's like, are there spoilers? It's been out long enough, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
so, like, seeing John Krasinski as
I know, dude.
Mr. Fantastic. The only thing that bugged me is you killed him. Why would you do that? Okay, the guy with the tuning fork. Oh, I know, right?
What?
It's only one. It's only one. Well, one universe. The guy with the tuning fork on his head, like Black Death or Black Bolt or whatever. I don't remember his name. When she is like, I kind of felt like I was watching The Boys for a minute when she's like, what mouth? And he was like, and he talked to her. It was like, boom, his head explodes. I'm like, holy shit, Wanda's lost her mind. Or
seriously, yeah. Oh my gosh, that scene was.
I love when Strange also figures out like oh, that's her being reasonable. Her not dream walking is her being reasonable. She could easily dream walk. Like, oh shit. Okay. So she is being reasonable, guys.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh boy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought everybody played top notch like they always do. I mean,
oh yeah,
you know,
it's a Marvel movie. I think they held up to their end on that thing.
Yeah, it's like not an origin one either, so it's like especially good. I love Benedict Wong too, so I was excited that Wong was in there, and
yeah,
their relationship is always super funny. He's like, it's proper to bow to the Sorcerer Supreme. But at least at the ending, he finally does it.
Yeah.
The Illuminati, dude. I started freaking out. I was like, why the hell's Illuminati in charge? And then you see like who's actually within the Illuminati. You're like, this is amazing.
Yes.
Holy
I'm thinking.
Shit.
Yeah.
Captain England or Captain Britain. I don't remember what it was, but Peggy Carter is, basically Captain. And she her moves were very similar to Captain. And when she spins, she goes, I could do this all day. I'm like, yeah. I'm like cheering and everything, dude. I'm getting all fucking pumped up. Oh, dude,
that's awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Tony, that whole scene. Then you have I was just thinking, had the guy in the yellow wheelchair.
I know, dude. Professor X, man.
The boom.
When he goes to that white room, I'm like, Charles, are you trapped? I'm like, Wanda, are you trapped? Or Charles, are you trapped? And clearly, he was.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
That red smoke started coming, and he's like, crap.
Yep.
He's the most powerful. He's one of the most powerful mutants.
So it's funny. I was not a huge, I didn't read a bunch of comic books growing up or anything. I always liked Marvel and Spider-Man, and I liked that whole thing. But I never knew. The only thing I remember out of like seeing comics and things like that is his yellow wheelchair that he's in, and they actually have it in this movie.
I know.
I love that. I'm like,
I know. That's why
awesome.
I know that if Marvel throws these X-Men and these mutants in, and we get Wolverine, we are going to get Wolverine in his yellow jumpsuit. We better get rated R Wolverine movies.
Yes. So who is it? Who's it going to be?
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly. That's the problem.
I would love it if Daniel Radcliffe was Wolverine.
You just love that man.
I do. I think he's awesome. But I think like if that dude got jacked, he's short enough that if he got stocky, man, he could potentially pull that off. Other than that, I mean, it would be sweet to see Tom Hardy. But I feel like no offense, Tom Hardy, but I feel like you're a little older to play that when like they could do a younger and have like 10 years of, like Hugh Jackman when he started doing it in I think 2000 was the first X-Men movie.
And what was his last one?
Like 2019 Logan, you know what I mean? Like that's I think that was 2019. I'm pretty sure that's a long career as one character.
Wait a minute. That was 2019?
Yeah.
Logan, the movie? All right, hold on.
I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Marvel. Bring me a Wolverine worthy.
It's 2017. So.
2017. Okay. All right.
Yeah. 2019 seemed to be, but maybe though. That's 17 years still. I mean,
yeah, it's 17 years still.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about Iron Man came out in 2008, so he played that character for a long time. And then I'm like, people are like, bring Cap back, and you're like, dude's been playing the same character for so long. Like, there's only so much growth.
Yeah, done. You hit that plateau, man. Stop here, don't stop here.
Yeah, like this will be the last.
This
will be the last Guardians with the Guardians crew. So
yeah,
who knows what's gonna go on there? But Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's a watch, man. It was a lot of fun. Yep. I love
thumbs up.
I love that because he's not like a witch. He's like a wizard or whatever.
Yeah.
That when he started doing things from her book, that the souls of the damned started coming after him because he's not supposed to be doing that magic. You know what I mean? Like, I just loved all the little touches, and Doctor Strange is just such a fun character.
He is. Yeah. And I never honestly, like, I at first, for some reason, I didn't like him. Not saying I didn't like, it's just, he was not my favorite character, I should say. I guess I shouldn't say I didn't like him, but I just, for some reason, didn't. And I just, he grew on me, and now I don't know if I could have another Doctor Strange as like an actor. I'm just saying, like, there's just no way. He is, he's phenomenal, man. That's just my bottom line. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything in the hopper for next week?
In the hopper.
In the hopper.
We'll do like we'll take a look at
take a look at our list, right? All right.
And then we'll put it out on Twitter. That's what we'll do.
All right. So
we'll look at our list, we'll put it out on the tweets. And then why don't we do Hustle?
Okay.
You want to do Hustle?
Do you know yeah. Do you know what Hustle got on Rotten Tomatoes, right?
98%.
Do you know what
I don't know.
No, 92. It really has a 92. Ooh. I mean, I'm just saying, I literally heard fantastic reviews about this movie.
I've heard
been trying to hold off on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've heard great things as well. So I'm down.
Cool. All right, sweet. So yeah, all right, we'll get to that in this week then too. So all right. I'm excited for that one. So.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for listening.
Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe.
And if you have any sort of ideas or anything, shoot us an email. Tweet us. Tweet. You know?
Tweet us. Email us. Do whatever. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. See you guys.